is going on from a beautiful, beautiful Krakow? I'm right here walking through the middle of Krakow. On this side, you have Kazimierz. Over here, you have what can be considered old Krakow. Where I'm at right now, this was actually the upper part of the river. In the 19th century, they covered it. They made it this beautiful park. They couldn't really build here because obviously it was a river, so the sediment's not that strong. So now this is where the tram comes in. It's one of the most beautiful parks in the city. I am on my way to start a Kazimierz food tour with the amazing team from Viator and Delicious Poland. I'm so excited to be working with them. Viator is absolutely one of my favorite tour agencies slash providers, and I look forward to showing you guys a different side of cuisine here in Krakow. All right, so this is actually the first of 3 tours I'll be doing with Viator. Now, if you're not familiar with Viator, Viator is more of it's a consolidator. It's not actually really a tour company. They work with local tour agencies and tour providers to give you access to all these different and diverse tours all around the world. I've used them maybe 20 times over the years. They're one of my favorite companies. Consider them, look at them as like an Expedia. They put everything from food tours to cultural events to actual like attraction tickets, all in the same place, all for you. Amazing company. I'm looking forward to you guys seeing them.
And people either eat inside. Here we have the pierogi that we call in Polish pierogi ruskie. This is the type that we eat. Pierogi ruskie sometimes is wrongly translated as Russian dumplings because it sounds a little bit like this, but the name doesn't refer to Russia at all. It actually refers to one region that used to be part of Poland. This region is called in Polish Ruś. Nowadays it's a western part of the Ukraine, but till the Second World War it was the eastern territory of Poland. And this type of the pierogi was the most common in that region. That's why we call them pierogi ruskie. So every time when you see some Russian dumplings in the menu, it's just like the wrong translation. They are still very Polish, okay?
All right, so while our guide Camille is getting another type, you guys have seen me eat these a million times when I lived here in Krakow, and this is the traditional way. It's delicious, it's boiled, but personally I prefer them fried. Go ahead and hate on me in the comments if you like it. I'm probably okay with it.
Cottage cheese, so this twaróg. So they are a bit lighter than our standard fillings for the pierogi. Please guys help yourself. The fourth type I will leave as a surprise. Don't put here yet.
There we go.
So what's interesting also that here in places like Pierogarnia you can buy pierogi before they are cooked. So you can buy them cold and you can take them home and cook them there. Then you serve it to your mother-in-law and say yes. That's like my favorite fruit to put inside of the pierogi. And on top we have sour cream and sugar. Affordable pierogi, so because it's mainly open for Kazimierz. And Kazimierz originally was separated city from Krakow. The Krakow originally was only where the old town area is, so it's further to the north, that direction. And that was the city that was established here in 14th century by Polish king. His name was Kazimierz, so the city was named after him. And some part of that city was given to Jewish people, so they could settle down here, build their community here, and they lived here till the Second World War. That's why some part of Kazimierz we call Jewish Quarter. Right now we can say Jewish Quarter is only historical name because we don't have that many Jewish people that actually live here. Right now we have less than 1,000 Jewish people, while before the Second World War 25% of the city population were Jewish. So it's definitely much less. Many people died during the Second World War. Some people that survived the war, they didn't want to come back, mainly because of the bad memories. But still, we have some synagogues here that are used by Jewish people that live here. We have a lot of Israeli tourists that come to the city. Right now we are at the street that is called in Polish Szeroka. And Szeroka in Polish means wide, as it's the widest street in that quarter. And that was like the heart of the Jewish quarter. Here were a few synagogues, prayer houses. It was also a place of gathering. Now you can find here two synagogues. One of them is still active. This is the Remu synagogue that is on the other side of the street. This is this white building over there. And this is the synagogue that is still active. We wanted to show you quickly also the map of Kazimierz. So this is a whole Kazimierz that used to be the separated city before. And the street here called Ditla used to be the river that was separating both cities, Krakow and Kazimierz. So Krakow was here and Kazimierz city here. And the river that was where the Ditla street is now was very narrow and shallow and source of a lot of diseases and bacteria. That's why they've decided to build the road on top of that, and it connected both cities. And here in the 19th century, and people used to eat it like 3 times per day because the recipe was super simple, and originally the soup was based only on 2 ingredients: potatoes, surprise, and sourdough starter. Do you guys know sourdough bread? So if you want to bake a sourdough bread, you need sourdough starter, which is fermented rye flour. You add a little bit of that while you are baking the bread to preserve the bread and keep it fresher for the longer time. This is the reason why the sourdough bread has been known in Poland for ages, because basically it could last longer. That's why every housewife in Poland had a sourdough starter at home. And in the times when we had problem with the food supply, the Polish housewives were forced to be master of creativity and just prepare some dishes out of the ingredients that they had at home. As everybody had potatoes, they just combined them with sourdough starter mixed with the water, and that's how the nutritious soup was created. I say it's nutritious because sourdough starter is a product of the natural fermentation process, so it has a lot of vitamins and probiotics, and it also gives very interesting flavor to the soup. Because firstly we cook potatoes, later we leave them in that water, and this potato water is used as a stock for the soup, and we pour over sourdough starter mixed with the water, and pour over in Polish is zalewać. So zalewajka literally means poured over soup. In Poland you can find different types of borscht. The one that you will try here, it's very special as it's based on the pork broth. So here you will get like a smoky flavor, and we also have here fermented and the fresh beetroot added. So the fresh beetroot.
Let's quick talk about the Kazimierz area as we continue on this tour. So when I lived here, it was around 2014. This entire area was just as beautiful then as it was now, but it was under a lot of construction. And because a part of this region is so old, so historic, they wanted to do it properly, and I think they did a fantastic job. It's vibrant, it's energetic, it's historical. The buildings are just absolutely beautiful now. I'm so glad they're recovering. Apparently they did a lot of this construction in 2020. They ramped it up because there were no tourists here, so they had an opportunity to really kind of dig into the reconstruction. But now that we're in 2021, it really is an absolutely beautiful part, and it really is such a special place that there are very few cities anywhere in Europe that can rival this city when it comes to the beauty.
So I wanted to tell you more about the street where we are now. We will walk the street till the end. It's a street that is called in Polish Józefa. It was named after Joseph II Habsburg. He was Austrian-Hungarian prince, and he was the prince that gave a lot of privileges and autonomy to Jewish people. That's why he was quite important for the local community. And you can see his portrait over there. here on that wall, we have beautiful street art that actually presents 5 important indie themes. We have woman Helena Rubinstein. Have you ever heard her name? Helena Rubinstein was a Polish Jewish woman that was born here in Kazimierz, and she escaped from Poland during the Second World War, and she moved to US, and there she started her cosmetic company, and she became one of the richest women in the world. And she had very famous saying, "There is no ugly women, there are only the lazy ones." So she was known for that. And next to her, we have the main architect and builder of Kazimierz city, Karol Knaus. Next to him, we have portrait of Esterka. She was a mistress of the king Kazimierz the Great. And there are 2 more churches. We have also here beautiful church, and this is the area that is always a little bit calmer than the Jewish part. The Jewish part is also known for its busy nightlife. Here people would mainly come for really nice breakfast. Here is very popular breakfast spot. It's a place called Ranny Ptaszek, which means morning bird. Or people would come for obiad. Obiad is like the main meal during the day in Poland. It's like in the middle of the day. We can say it's a Polish dinner, but it's quite early, like around 4:30, 5 p.m. So we are around 11, and then after second breakfast we have the obiad. So this is the place that you guys know very well. So it's called Kuchnia u Doroty, which means Dorota's kitchen. And Dorota is the name of the owner. It's a family restaurant, like a family-oriented restaurant, but it's family business as well, because Dorota's brother is a farmer just outside of Krakow. And most of the vegetables that Dorota uses here are coming from her brother's farm. So everything is like really fresh, good quality. So that's what we will try here.
Thank you.
Here. And sugar. So this is something that Polish people have while they are eating their main meal during the day. And we serve it in the mug, even though it's not hot. So it's not like a tea that's been here for a while and just cooled down. It's served always in a room temperature. And so when my mother prepares compote at home, she prepares huge pot of that. She leaves that in the kitchen. It cools down. We are coming to the kitchen, grabbing a mug, putting inside of the pot, and this is the way of drinking. So actually, this way of serving brings back some memories from my childhood. Lunch. And that's what you guys have over there as well. And here we have sour cream. So you can take 1 potato pancake, put goulash on top, and on top of that you can put some sour cream. And here we have this beetroot salad with some onion inside. And it's like a perfect side dish for all the dishes that we have here. That dish also,
Tyler.
roll dolma. It sounds like dolma
It's really, honestly, might be
because
one of
it's
my favorite.
the best from all the sauces that are there, because other are like super artificial and not so great. But it's like became kind of like a symbol of Jewish quarter. So like many people when they come to Krakow, they expect to try zapiekanka. That's why it's thicker than the regular pancakes, and it's deeply fried just like a donut. And there are pieces of apples inside. So this is the dessert that mothers make for children at home. It's very delicious. Normally we just serve it with the powdered sugar on top, like you have it here. But in this restaurant, they prepare a very special sauce that is made of the sour cream, sugar, raspberries, and black currants. And you can put it on top of the dessert. Eat just before the lunch, because then you will have a break from this type of food for 1 month. So if you, it's like a Polish Mardi Gras, you can say, or like Pancake Tuesday, right? In UK, I think. No?
Pancake Tuesday, yeah.
So this is the square that is called in Polish Plac Nowy. It literally means new square, because the building that you can see there in the middle, it was built at the end of the 19th century, which is considered the part. This building over there used to be the slaughterhouse for the kosher meat, or the kosher chickens actually. And right now, you can find there few small kiosks that offer some fast food. So this is the place where people come to grab some food after like few beers or a few vodkas. As you can see, it's quite crowded. The craft beer bar, they have 14 and bigger space. So firstly, I would like to show the place inside, and then we will come back to our table, okay? This is just what you can find in the craft beer bars. It helps you to put the beer flavor into the context. So if you are in mood for something more aromatic and a little bit heavier body, you choose something that has more than 12% PLG. And if you want something more refreshing, then you choose something with 11, 10 or 9% PLG. Okay?
So that's to help you. That must have been very heavy.
I actually worked as a waitress before. I worked without vodka yet, so it's safe to drink, guys. So here they offer beers from only Polish microbreweries, and I have chosen the beers from 2 different microbreweries. One of them is called Hopito. Hopito, it's the microbrewery that had brewed the beer that is a bit lighter color. This is the microbrewery that makes amazing sour ales. Have you ever tried sour ale? They are very popular now among Polish microbreweries, especially during the summertime, because they are very refreshing. You can smell it actually, so it's like this lighter colored one. And sour ales we brew in Poland with special lactose bacteria. They make the beer sour.
Tart.
It is tart, but you know why it's so popular in Poland? You know why it's so popular in Poland? Because we are very familiar with the sour flavor and like a tart flavor. So we have a lot of sour things in our cuisine even, right? But it's like a refreshing type of the beer. We always combine it with some fruits though. Do you have any idea what's from the microbrewery called Such a Beer? And it's a brand new microbrewery. They just started operating like 6 months ago, and it was opened by a young married couple that I actually living here in Krakow. And the guy built everything by himself. So all the microbrewery he built by himself. And the microbrewery is called Such a Beer, and their big inspirations are American microbreweries actually. So
IPA?
like yeah, it's an IPA.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's like an IPA. It's mainly with the American hops actually. Type of the food that we call in Polish zakąski. Zakąski, it's like a Polish tapas. So it's type of the food that we eat after dinner. And this one here is called kiełbasa krakowska, and it's Krakow style sausage. It's a sausage that is a little bit drier. There we have salt, black pepper and garlic added as a main seasoning, and the slices are always super thin. And here we have the sausage called kabanos, and kabanos is like an air-dried sausage that is like a super perfect snack for the beer. And we have here cheese. Have you ever tried that cheese or seen that cheese before?
Smoky.
So a lot of contract microbreweries here in Poland. That's why there are really new microbreweries being opened all the time. So that makes it more interesting.
Less
and
risk,
fascinating.
business
Less
risk.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people
clever.
often do that for fun. For example, Such a Beer microbrewery.
Yeah.
The guy, he still works for Corpo,
Oh, wow.
and he brews the beer on the side,
On the
and
side.
he delivers beer by himself. Yeah, so it's also like I see him because he delivers here to Kazimierz by himself, and I also live here nearby, and I see him all the time. you
Yeah.
know, So 2 vodkas, and if I
Okay,
ask
we will
you to
pass it down. Pass
It's
it
a
down, please.
teamwork. Yeah, it's like a part of the Polish culture, and this is the type of the alcohol that we actually keep for special occasions. So it's a stereotype fact that we drink vodka every day. Still, special occasions happen very often. It's not every day, okay? Maybe every Friday, every Tuesday. In Poland we drink vodka for like birthday parties, families gatherings, Easter, Christmas, and most of the Polish vodkas are based on rye. So rye is like the main ingredient for the vodka that you find here. Not potatoes, as many people may expect, because actually potatoes are less efficient ingredient than vodka. If you have like 1 kilo potatoes, you can than rice, sorry. So if you have 1 kilo potatoes, you can distill only 1 liter out of spirit, like 3 or 4 times more expensive than the rye vodkas. So rye is also the reason why we produce so much vodka, because for years it was based on Polish agriculture, so we always had a lot of rye, and we had to find a way what to do with that. So we did some bread, but how much bread we can eat, so the rest of it we started for distilling the vodka. And right now we are the biggest producer of vodka in European Union, and we also export most of the vodkas that we produce here, but also some big part of it stays here and we drink. So I chose for you 2 vodkas that I enjoy the most personally. I always divide vodka into 2 categories. The vodka that I call party vodka and the vodka that I call dessert vodka. So the party vodka, it means that this is the vodka that we would drink like 1 or 2 bottles during like a family gatherings. But the dessert vodka is like 1 or 2 glasses only, like after dinner. And you just drink it slowly, sip it and just enjoy the flavor, while this one you drink in one go, okay? So this one is called in Polish żubrówka. So żubrówka is based on rye, but there is a very special ingredient added. It's called bison grass in English. Bison grass is a type of the herb that grows in only one national park in Poland. This national park is called Białowieża Forest. It's in eastern part of Poland, closer to Belarus, and there lives the biggest population of wild bisons in Europe. Some really bad vodka that you don't want to taste, then you put it to the freezer. But if you like have some, if you have some vodka that actually you want to enjoy and get the flavor out of it, then you wouldn't serve it so super ice cold. We also have a saying in Poland that there is nothing worse than warm vodka and cold woman. So vodka should be served chilled, but not like ice cold. Okay. And the perfect temperature is actually like wine temperature, also like 19, 18 degrees. So we can all raise the glasses now.
The clear one.
Say na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
And then we drink it.
Interesting flavor.
Oh, you got the wrong one.
Sorry about that, guys.
So we have also a rule that you never drink vodka alone.
Going on, guys? As you can see, it's daylight now, and the last clip you just saw ended at night. I did not get an opportunity to do a proper closing because it was too dark outside. Kazimierz was absolutely popping. It was Saturday night. It was people everywhere, just loud music and noise. So I decided to wait and talk to you guys this morning. What a fantastic tour. We did 20 dishes and drinks. Camila did a fantastic job of covering all those dishes. Her and her husband run an amazing tour. Highly recommend them. And shout out to Viator. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be partnering with them. This is the first, like I said, this is the first of 3 tours I'll be doing. I go to Wrocław tomorrow morning. And then the very next day I will do another food tour, and then I have like a 3-wheel bike Segway tour or something. And you know, if you're watching this a little bit later, I'll have a link to those videos down below with Viator. But 2 things I wanted to talk about. The very first thing is, you notice I did not say a lot What I enjoy about these tours is that I can kind of sit back and let the guides kind of do their job. We had several other people, I believe it was 7 other people on the tour with us as well. And I didn't want to interrupt their experience with trying these dishes for the first time. Mind you, I used to live here, and I know a lot of these dishes. I come back a couple times a year, so all these dishes, majority of them were not new to me, and I didn't want to kind of interrupt everybody's experience with my vlog and stuff. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut and just kind of interacted on an organic way with all my fellow participants. And I think that's what you really should do, especially if you've had the cuisine before. You should let other people enjoy it, right? Sometimes the camera can be distracting to people, you know, but I think Camilla did a fantastic job explaining the history and the culture behind these cuisines, and I just really didn't have much to say. Second thing is that there's a lot of debate when it comes to Polish food. Like if you ask 10 different Polish people the best pierogies, you're going to get 10 different answers. And I think that's with any cuisine. The conversation about goulash, right? Goulash will be considered Hungarian, but you find it in a lot of places here in Poland. It's one of those conversations that I personally think it's fun to kind of have, but it gets to a point where you just enjoy the food. Just kick back and enjoy the fact that we all get to travel the world and eat these amazing dishes that have been created throughout history. So I look forward to my next food tours. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Don't forget, there's going to be a link to the actual tour that I took below in the description. I'll probably what I'll do is I'll put it in the very first comment. So click on that, go over and check out Viator, where this is, who sponsored this video. Thank you so much, Viator, for sponsoring this video. And I'm looking forward to the next tours. So as usual, leave the world better than you found it. I will see you guys in the next video.